Good day to each and everyone. I am the reporter of today, Group 8, the maintenance of canals. Although numerous formal and informal agreements are recognized between various groups in the Federation, it was not until 1978 that all 9 groups were formally and legally separated, following the submission of pertinent incorporation papers to the NAIA and to the Securities and Exchange Commission. The head of each of 9 Zenheras composed the board of director with the maestro of JHANE as president and chairman of the board. His election to this position was in recognition of the critical role played by the Sergei Zanhera in the establishment of federation. Bagamat maraming opisyal at di-opisyal na kasunduan ang kinikilala sa pagitan ng iba't ibang grupo sa federasyon, hindi ito naging opisyal at legal na federasyon para sa lahat ng 9 na grupo hanggang noon 1978, natapos isumite ang mga kakulangan, papeles sa NAIA at sa Securities and Exchanges Commission, SEC. Ang mga pinuno ng bawat 9 na Zaheras ang bumubuo ng Board of Director kasama na ang maestro ng Zahera, Sergei bilang Pangulo at Chairman ng Board. Ang kanyang eleksyon, posisyong ito at bilang pagkilala sa mahalagang papel na ginampanan ng Zahera Sergei sa pagtatag ng federasyon. One reason for a formal incorporation of the 9 Zaheras in a single organization was to comply with the requirements of New Water Code of the Philippines, promulgated in 1976, which allows only individual or juridical person to obtain rights for the use of the water. In previous years, several of the 9 Zaheras had obtained their own respective brush dam even after they had banded together to maintain the one irrigation system. They had not bothered to file for a single permit for all 9 organizations. Consequently, when the new law was put into effect in 1976, they still did not have a group single juridical personality under which they could register the water right, although several Jaheras were already incorporated. At the time, the members of federation would not allow any single Jahera to register the water exclusively its name for fear that it might in the future exclude one of them from using the water. Having undergo numerous court battles, the various officials were aware of the crease involved in permitting a single Jahera to donate the others. Ang formal na pagsasama-sama ng 9 Jahera sa isang organisasyon ay naging kinakailangan dahil sa mga patakaran ng bagong water code ng Pilipinas na ipinatutupad noong 1976. Pinahintulot lamang ng batas na ito ang mga individual or juridical person na kumukuha ng karapatan para sa paggamit ng tubig kahit na nag-operate sila bilang nagkakaisang sistema ng irigasyon. Ang mga Jaheras ay nagkaroon ng hiwalay na mga pahintulot para sa kanilang brush dam at hindi pinagsama ang kanilang mga permit. Kaya naman, nang tinupad ng bagong batas, wala silang legal na pagkakakilanlan upang irehistro ang kanilang mga karapatan sa tubig. Bagamat may ilang Jaheras nang nakapagtala, tumututol ang mga miyembro ng federasyon na payagan ang anumang solong Jahera na magparehistro ng eksklusibong karapatan sa tubig sapagkat takot sila sa posibleng pagtanggi sa paggamit ng tubig na hinaharap dahil sa mga karapatang labang sa korte. Nauunawaan ng mga opisyal panganib ng pagsasapanganib sa isang Jahera sa pamamahala sa iba. Decision-making, technology, and system maintenance. The borders of directors of the federation in essentially a coordinating body as well as a group which represents all 9 Zanhera in matters which related to irrigation system, including those which involve other group or agencies such as NAIA or Night Barring Janhera. Such concern could arrange from requests of the use of earth-moving equipment to agreements which other group which drove water from the same river with it regard to the control of the Federation Board over individual Janheras. The inclip rules is that each Janhera remains independent and autonomous except in activities where coordination with the other members of the federation is essential, as in the repair and maintain of the brush dam and the main canal. Ang borders of directors ng federasyon ay sa pangkalahatan ay isang coordinating body at isang group na kumakatawan sa lahat ng siyam na Zanheras sa mga bagay na nauugnayan ng sistema ng irigasyon, kabilang ang mga usapang sinasangkutan ng iba't ibang group o ahensya tulad ng NAIA o kalapit na Zanheras. Maaaring ang mga alalahanin na ito ay mula sa mga hiling para sa paggamit ng earth-moving equipment hanggang sa mga kasunduan ng iba't ibang grupo na kumukuha ng tubig mula sa parehong ilog. Tungkol sa kontrol ng board ng federasyon sa individual na Zanheras, ang implit na patakaran ay ang bawat Zanhera ay mananatiling independent at autonomous maliban sa mga aktibidad kung saan mahalaga ang koordinasyon sa iba't ibang miyembro ng federasyon tulad sa pag-ayos at pagpapanatili ng brush dam at pangunahing canals. The day-to-day decision made by the boards of directors are directly related to the operation of the irrigation system and in particular to two main concerns: the allocation of water and maintenance of the system, major structures, the brush and dam, the main canal, the issues surrounding the allocation of water or irrigation system, performance arrays, primary during periods of scarcity. These issues are discussed in greater detail in the next chapter in this section. The powers, responsibilities, and fractures of the Federation in its governing body are presented in the following descriptions of how system maintenance is performed and coordinated. Ang araw-araw na nagdesisyon sa ginagawa ng Board of Director ay direktang kaugnay ng operasyon ng sistema ng irrigation at lalo na sa dalawang pangunahing alalahanin, ang alokasyon ng tubig at ang pagpapanatili ng mga pangunahing struktura ng sistema, ang brush dam at ang pangunahing kanal. Ang mga issue na may kinakalaman sa alokasyon ng tubig o pagganap ng sistema ng irigasyon ay pangunahing lumalabas tuwing panahon ng katapusan. Ang mga isyong ito ay tatalakay ng mas detalyado sa sumusunod na banata. Isang eleksyon na ito ang pinapakita ng kapangyarihan ng responsibilidad at tungkulin ng federasyon ng kanyang pinauulaanan sa pamamagitan ng pagsasalarawan ng kung ano ang sinasagawa at inuugnay ng pananatili ng sistema. The maintenance of the dam and the main canal is performed regularly, and the major decision of the board pertain to the schedule and the duration of the work. The need of maintenance work on these major structures may be brought to the attention of the Federation by any members of the board. This information is usually relayed directly to the President of the Federation. A schedule of work is then announced to all. For example, the Maestro of Zanhera San Juan may announce that the brush dam request reinforcement or repair it. The need to repair is urgent, as during period of scarcity, the message is delivered to the Federation President, and soon after the schedule is announced, all the members, and its need to repair is not as pressing. Maestro may instead request a meeting of the board or may wait for the execution when all board members are present. After decision by the board the schedule of work is then announced. So which means if the maestro of San Juan may announce to kailangan na nilang i-repair o may kailangan silang ayusin to the brush dam, is kailangan nila muna mag-request ng repair or reinforcement, and then kailangan ipunta muna sa taas, sa pinakamataas, kailangan muna malaman ng board members, and then kailangan nila magpa-urgent meeting or kahit na magpa-schedules na meeting para lahat ng members, president to the board members is present para aware sila na may kailangan ayusin o kailangan i-repair doon sa canal or dam. Saka sila makakapag-decide na kailangan na talagang ayusin or mag-reschedule sila, i-announce kung kailan. Maestro may instead request meeting of the board A or may wait for accusation when all board members are present. After decision by the board, the scheduled work is announced. So this is what I say, kailangan talaga is present lahat ng all board members, then bago sila magawa ng repaired para dun sa dam or para dun sa cleaning, kailangan alam ng lahat ng members before sila mag-schedule ng work para dun. Normally, the maintenance requests are well anticipated by the Zanjeras, and tentative dates for work are often known weeks in advance. However, it is not uncommon to find that members are called to work even at the day's notice when the situation requires it. What is remarkable, does not make much time or effort to transmit the announcement offering the work schedule to all members, considering that there are members of communicates over 10 kilometers away from the work site, and that the federation is composed of members who live in more than 10 different villages or barangays. For an area without paved doors, telephones, and public transportation, the communication engaged between members who reside in different villages are well developed. Messages are passed between persons traveling to and from the various barangays. Usually, horns are blown to signal meetings of various zanjeras, and different codes are employed to inform the members about meeting places and the purpose of such meetings. So dito naman is kapag nag-a-announce sila or So dito naman kapag may kailangan silang meeting or urgent, kahit hindi naman urgent meeting pero like meeting talaga, is kailangan ng all board members is present. Kapag malayo yung inyong bahay and then malayo doon sa office or site na yun yung bahay mo, and then kailangan may isang members doon, if in case na may pupunta doon, na isa sa mga board members pupunta doon sa inyong region, then pwede niya nang banggitin sa iyo na may meeting kayo. Kung wala kang phone or walang signals doon sa barangay ninyo, and then may isang members doon na pupuntahan ka niya para inform ka na may meeting. The maintenance of the canals. The method of distributing work among the zanjeras in the maintenance of the canals is slightly different from that of the contributing and repair of the brush dam. First of all, each zanjera is responsible for the maintenance of their canals and ditches, which in This service area including the laterals which lead from the main canal, so its land, the laterals are maintained by the Zanjeras, which be lifted directly from them. In case there two or more Zanjeras draw water from the same lateral, as in the Sinigpit San Juan Canal, the Zanjeras involved cooperate to maintain the structures which they share. Consequently, the main canal is the only convenient structure with which all 9 Zanjeras are concerned. Basically, the rule in dividing the main canal work is that each Zanjera share in responsibility of cleaning and maintaining the length of the main canal from the intake and at the brush dam to the point where the lateral of the relevant Zanjeras branches off from the main canal. For example, the Sinigpit San Juan lateral is the first one along the main canal. The members of Sinigpit and San Juan participate maintaining the main canal along with the another Zanjera, but only up to the point where the Sinigpit San Juan lateral branches off from that point. They are not obligated to assist the another Zanjeras, which work on the rest of the canal. Under this rule, the Zanjeras at the tail of the system have the largest burden in system maintenance. Zanjera Sitio Rosario, for instance, which is very last Zanjera along the canals, is involved in the maintenance work from the beginning to the end of the main canal. Apart from this role for determining the areas of responsibilities of each Zanjera, the procedure for assigning actual tasks for each Zanjera is similar to the allocation procedure at the brush dam. Through the use of the flexible measuring stick, the work, which is performed 3 to 5 times each year, involved cleaning the main canal off with road and sedimentation which impede the flow of water. In some cases, the canal is also reinforced with various material from rocks and cement to the line the canal to bamboo poles which are driven into the sides of the canal. The work usually begins at the dam site. Using the measure rod, short length of the canal are measured off and assigned to each of the 7 work groups. As each work group completes the segment assigned to it, new section is measured and located to it. Again, the length of the measuring rod is adjusted depending on the size of the work group and the relevant difficulty of cleaning, particularly section to be assigned, even as the individual groups complete their obligation after reaching their laterals. The remaining work groups continue dividing the length of the canal among themselves until the last lateral is reached. By organizing the distribution of irrigation responsibilities in this manner, each Zanjera is giving maximum autonomy within the umbrella of the federation. Another important point is that each of the Zanjeras remains financially and administratively independent even during such activities which required close coordination and discipline. For instance, even at these activities required the participation of all 9 Zanjeras, each Zanjeras select its own shaded area where its members set up camp. Each Zanjeras prepare their own food and shoulders its own expenses. As such, the Federation, as an umbrella organization, does not need to directly control or manage any material resources, assessed, or properties. It exists only a coordinating and supervisory council which facilitates interaction and communication between each of the famous Zanjera. This decentralized administrative arrange permit each Zanjera to to maintain its own leadership styles and organizational traits in respect of the strong interdependency with other Zanheras. Internally, each of the 9 Zanheras is recognized in the manner described in the previous chapter. They are each composed of small work units or ganglos which become visible and operative when a task required the division of labor or the rotation of function. Members of the previous gunglus are usually assigned or chosen when the Zanheras official are selected, and the composition of these units remains unchanged until new officials are again selected. These ganglos generally contain from 5 to 10 members each and are headed by the unit leader or panglakayin. The Nibinib Zanhera, for example, is composed of only 2 ganglos with roughly 8 members in each Zanhera. Kabaroan has 7 5-man ganglos. The ganglos usually rotate small sample and fairly regular tasks among themselves. One example is the location of water during times of scarcity. During such periods, the actual delivery or water to fields takes place even.